Good morning. Our hand today is going to be 10 Jack. In this hand, we have early position raise, we have a mid position caller, and then it's on me. Early position player is playing 2013, over 143 hands. His pre-flop raise stat is, or his raise first in stats, 13%. I think on average he's going to be fairly strong. This is 12.4. Maybe he doesn't have those. We'll leave him in. Maybe he has more of the Broadway instead of the suited connectors or lower pocket pairs. But I think this is a pretty solid, pretty tight range. This caller is playing 24/7, so he seems to be a lot more passive, less likely to 3-bet. We don't have him 3-betting at all, but it's only at 13 possibilities. What we do see is that he's called a 2-bet from this position 23%, 3 out of 13 times. So it seems like he's more willing to call than he is to raise. Now, when we think about ranges here, I think this is kind of like a big loose range. Because again, it was only he didn't have many hands, 13 hands. It is entirely possible that he just happened to have hands that were worthy of a call. So, maybe he doesn't have all the suited aces. Maybe he just has something like this, which brings it down to 13. How much of a difference does one hand make in the stats? Well, let's find out. Bring our calculator over. 3 out of 13 gives us our 23%. 2 out of 13 is going to drop us right down to 15%. So you can see that removing those suited aces, I mean that's one type of hand. Now, should I really keep the suited aces? I don't think so. Let's see if we have notes on him. Nope, we don't. We've got some 3-bet stats, 3-bet range aces, ace king, 4-bet range ace king, limp and re-raised aces. So I think typically when I see players, I think this is a passive player. So I'm going to say he's probably raising kings plus ace king. All right, and then I think ace queen is just calling here. I think ace jack is just calling here. Now, I think, do we include these offsuits? Yes or no? Probably not. I mean, maybe. We don't have a huge. I think I will. I think I'll include the offsuits here. And then the suiteds, I think your suited Broadways, I think your suited connectors, and definitely these pocket pairs are going to be, I think, make up a big part of their range. I think also with these suited hands, these suited Broadways, we tend to see players call with something like that, with Jack 9, maybe even Queen 9. But I'm going to leave them out because this was an early position, an under the gun raiser, and the player might be playing a little bit tighter. Now, what about 10 Jack? I have a 3-better call range, and we have to recognize that we have a caller here. So versus just early position, that's what we're going for. I kind of feel like this should be a 3-bet. This is a hand that we want to play. We're going to have absolute position on the hand. I think if I call, it's possible that we take this 4 ways. I'm looking probably at this player. This player's playing 31-24. He's in the big blind. If I call, it's only 1.8 big blinds for him to call to see the flop. It's entirely possible that he calls. And I think we've got a pretty decent squeeze opportunity. His fold to 3, this guy's fold to 3 bet stat is 50%. This guy's 0%. I think we've got a hand that's not that great against both of these players. Jack 10's not that great against both of their ranges. So I kind of think that raising here would be a great play. If called, we're gonna have position throughout the rest of the hand. But if everyone folds, hey, that's great. We just won with the Jack high. Calling is also okay. I think with calling, what we're trying to do is flop big, and that's definitely okay because this villain is deep stack. It's just if he was also deep stack, I think we might have a little bit better reason to call and try to flop a big hand that plays for stacks. But I think just for against one of these players, I think I would today. I would probably just go ahead and 3-bet, and probably not 100% 3-bets. Sometimes I would call, sometimes I would raise, and this might be a situation where I just call. So I'm going to say this is my 3-better call range. This is going to be calling range here, and we get one color behind. He's going to fold later in the hand. I'm not going to worry about him. I think he's going to have a range something like this, maybe like suited aces, probably adding suited aces to him. Maybe taking out the offsuit hands. So we see a flop of Queen Jack 2. And I have, middle pair with backdoor straight and backdoor flush draws. So thinking about this, I think the queen's going to hit villain 7. If we think about his range, ace king, ace queen hits. Ace king has a gut shot. I mean, we're ahead of the gut shot, and we have a blocker, which is good for ace king. But we also have to include the king, queen, king, jack, queen, jack. So I think this board's going to hit him pretty hard. Villain 3 is likely to miss. So let's see here. If we just say top pair plus and open-ender straight, that's 40% of the time it's going to hit him. If we add someone, fix that. I was going to say, why is jacks in there? Yeah, top pair plus is 43%, so even more. Versus this player, top pair plus is 38.8%. You can see that everyone has a whole lot of Broadway cards. I have fewer because I don't have the offsuit cards here. So I'm really, I could have open-ended straights. I'm going to probably have more like draw type hands than real strength type hands. I would say jacks and queens would be in a possible 3-betting range. Definitely queens. So villain bets his c-bet stat out of position is 50%, which is surprising. So his in position c-bet stat 0 out of 3. So I think he is betting when he has some sort of hand. I think at the worst he has a middle pair type hand. I don't think he's doing it with a pocket pair underneath. I'm going to say at worst is middle pair because I think that's like maybe 50%, if that. I think a flush draw is going to make that play. Open-ended straight draw is going to make that play. The gut shot with the ace king is a possibility. So if I add the overcards, it brings it up to 66.2. Now, if he's a thinking player, he's going to make this play. He's going to make this c-bet because his range should be hammering this pretty strongly. And anybody that calls, myself included, is going to have to expect to be facing a turn bet and probably, at least a turn bet. River bet is also possible. So I think with the overcards, I think we could add the overcards, just, ace king. So that's his range, 66.2%. I think he's strong. Villain 3 folds. Villain 3, I think, would have called with the pair, top pair, middle pair. I think he probably would have given up the pocket pairs. What's his fold? His fold to c-bet stats really high. I think he would have called the flush draw and probably the open ender. I don't think he's going to be calling any of the 2-card backdoor flush draws. So he's in that 45% that doesn't connect, or 44% that doesn't connect. Now it's on me. What do I do? Do we have a hand that could continue? We could possibly have a hand that could continue. We do have second pair. We've got some backdoor draws. So I think at a very minimum, we should be calling. What about raising? Would raising do anything for our hand? Would raising buy us equity at all? I don't think so. I think if we raise, we could raise a set. We could raise a 2-pair. Those are all strong hands. We would do those for value. And then if we raise, it would be like the nut flush draw. I think that we would raise that with, and maybe 10-9. Yeah, ace 10, king 10, 10, 9. I don't even know if I would do it if I didn't have anything. So let's color code it just so we could see what we're looking at here, kind of the breakdown. Six to three. I don't think we should be. Yeah. I mean, if we raise, we could do that. We're going to be definitely be much more value oriented with sets and two pair. If he calls, we have big draw behind us, and we would likely be able to bet again. You see 6 to 3. I don't think we need to be super polarized here. What else could we have? Ace King, no. I think that's it. I think that's what we're going to be looking for. Why do I have top pair? No, I said sets and two pair. 9 to 3. So 3 to 1 value. Maybe we need more. I don't think so. I think if we have a bluff. No, I think that's it. And it's not perfect, but I think that it's going to make people think, okay, what do we have? I think we're going to get called a lot here. I don't think we're going to be raising here and getting folds, so I think we should be more heavy on the value range. And if we spike the spade, hey, that's great. If we spike a straight, that's great. I think it's going to put villain 7 to the test, and it's possible. I think the straight's probably the better one to hit. If we hit the straight, it's going to give villain reason to call, because chances are he's going to have a straight draw as well. So I think that's kind of my plan for raising. You can see I don't have that hand in the raising range. I don't think this hand really qualifies for a raise, because I think if I raise, I'm not folding out a huge number. So that's the thing. If we raise, what is he gonna fold out? I think he's gonna fold out middle pair, and that's probably it. So we're at 66.2%. And then it's going to drop to 53.5%, because I think he's going to keep his flush draws, open enders, and probably even that overcards. I mean, he's a big stack. So I don't think raise is going to buy us much equity at all. I think raise just is going to build up a big pot, get us a big pot, and then if he checks to us on the turn, we're just feeding more money after bat if we don't connect. And that's why I think our raising range here is going to be so strong. Sets, two pair, and then this combo draw, this flush and straight draw. All right, so we just call. So we're gonna say, I think top pair calls, middle pair calls. I think if we call pocket pair below the top pair, it's gonna be a loose call with tens. I think it's gonna be a real loose call with tens, and we would be calling with tens because we block the straight with ace king, and I think with tens we're just gonna see, and it's kind of like what we're doing here with our jack 10. We're gonna see if we call here and he bets the turn, we're probably going to be behind at that point, and we can get rid of it. If he checks to us, there's a chance that we're going to be ahead, and then we have to dodge an ace or a king more than likely. He could have a jack. I don't think jack is gonna give up, but who knows. So I'm going to say we're calling with those. We're going to call with the rest of our, do that, flush draws. Let's get that. We're not calling with all of our straight draws. So let's add those. Let's take those out and see if I can get these open enders in here. Darn it. No, they're going to be in. So the spade's going to be in there, but we'll know we didn't intend to call those. The gut shot, probably not. I think the gut shot with ace 10, we're probably drawing at best to a split. So I think ace 10 we could just fold, move to the next hand. 9-8 too. I think if a 10 comes, we're gonna be in a load of hurt. So I don't think we're calling a huge amount, 30%. But I think we're being protective to kind of guard against him c-betting. So we'll continue. So we did call, and this player folded. Again, kind of a lot similar to what villain 3 has, probably didn't connect at all. All right, king of spades hits. Now that's interesting. So we know king and a jack is out there. So ace king of spades isn't possible. Ace jack of spades is impossible. You could have ace 10, you could have ace queen. Those are all in his range. I don't think they're in my range. I think, we have ace 10 possibility, which now just gives us the nut flush. I think the king, I'm not sure why I would have 10 jack in my range. So I think overall that king actually helps villain 7. Now, with my calling range, so we said, I think I would have raised ace 10 of spades, but I have some of those other flush draws as well. So that should be, we're gonna have to go back. Crud. This queen of spades. Yeah, I don't think that changes anything at all. Oh yeah, that changes a little bit. I was gonna say, all right, we're still not right. We got jack of spades, queen of clubs, 2 of spades. That's better. Okay, so we were calling with that. I think ace 10 of spades was going to be a raise. King 10 was going to be a raise. 10-9 was going to be a raise. 10-9 of spades was going to be a raise. Queen 10 was just a call. King queen was just a call. 9-8s were all just calls. Yes, and then the open enders. All right, that's looking better. All right, so looking here. Ace 10 of spades we should have raised. King 10 we should have raised, but now the king's out, so we don't have that. So we're kind of back to the same thing. Yeah, I think he could have ace queen. Everything that we say about what kind of spades are out there. We do have the possibility of having 10-9 of spades, which gives us now the straight or the flush. The flush. We've got, gut shot straight flush draw here. But I think overall this is helping this villain's range in terms of top pair type stuff. So if we say, let's eliminate all of our draws, just say top pair plus, kings plus, that he's at 65%. If we add the queens to that, you're at 81%. So it's very heavy. His range is very heavy in the 1 pair plus range, or made hands, right? Set straights and flushes. He does possibility of having some draw. So, his offsuit, he has ace of spades. He now has the spade draw. He could have a queen of spades. He still have the spade draw. The ace gives him the gut shot and so forth. So villain checks. And I think he's checking more because he's afraid of the flush and the straight that's out there. So I'm going to say he doesn't have the flush. He could have a straight, but I'm going to say no. I think a straight's probably betting here. I think a set is going to check, two pairs going to check. All of those hands are going to be checking. All the weak hands are going to be checking. I think does he have a draw? Yeah, he could have all of these draws. So I think he's going to be betting those. Probably not for this player. I mean, based on his c-bet stats, I think he's froze because the board just turned badly for him. Now, that leads me. If I bet, so ignoring my range, if I bet what hands are going to fold, I think if I bet here, he's still going to be calling with the nut flush draw. I think he's going to be calling with the second nut flush draw. Probably with the open ender. I think he's not calling with third pair. I think he's calling with sets and two pair and probably the over pair. And then the only way he'll have top pair or middle pair is if he has them part of these other draws. I'm going to add top pair because a lot of people call it top pair, but I'm not sure if he's going to be doing that with the king. You know, ace, king, king, 10. Well, I guess so. Ace, king, king, 10. Maybe he does that. I think it's questionable. I'd say no. Let's drop out the top pair. I think that's what he's going to call. So that means he's calling 58% of the time. Let's say almost 60% of the time. He's folding 40% of the time, which means that we could theoretically make a bet here and expect to show profit. So make a bet with, you know, quite a few of our draws. Now, if he folds 40%, we can offer him. What do we do? Do we bet half pot? So we're betting half pot to win. So 2-1. We need 30. If we bet half pot, we need him to fold 33% of the time. I think that's right. That could work. He's going to fold 40% of the time. If we do a pot size bet, we're risking one to win one, so we need 50%. 1-1. We need him to fold 50%. I don't think he's folding for pot. 2/3, we're at like 40%. So let's check that. All right. Yep. Just had a brain freeze. So here's my sheet. Yeah, use LibreOffice. It's free. Great. Download it. I like it better than Word, and it's free. Similar to like Word or to Office like 2003, I think, before they put the ribbon up there. But yeah, if I bet half pot, break even percentage is 33. If he folds 33%, exactly 33%, then we have 0% equity. Ignore, if we're even, if our hand ranges are equal. I could bet 2/3. I think 2/3 might get the fold. I also think half pot's going to get the fold. We could probably go lower, about a third pot in this case. Third pot only needs to fold 25% that's our break even percentage. And I do think he would do that. If we do a quarter, it's going to look like we are trying to get him to call when we have a big hand. So what kind of hands are we going to do that with? I think definitely we could do it with all of our draws here. I think even our open enders could be doing that. I think to balance, we would have some flushes that would do that. Possibly even our straights. Straights might actually be, yeah, something like that, because I think we're relying on a fold equity here. I would say weak pair falls into our open enders. You can see it. I think we have some showdown equity with these. not a whole lot. I think even with tens, I think tens kind of gets thrown into here with our draws. The third pair though, jacks, I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of showdown equity with them. We could, but I'm going to guess that we're behind if we have the jack. Queen's another story with the queen 10, so maybe we do it like that. We've got some draws, we've got some solids, and then we're leaving our top pair, two pair, and stuff. So what do? I actually bet, which is good. I think this is a larger bet. I don't think I should have made it this size. I think we should have gone a little bit lower. As I said, we need 40%. I think he's folding 40%. I'm sure this is two-thirds pot bet. This is 22 over 29.4. It's 3/4. So we need him to fold even more. We need him to fold like 43%. So I think that was a mistake. We should have gone about half pot here, and he calls. So I think I was making this play here with the open ender, straights and flush, so we can have all of those. I think the straights, I'm going to leave the straights out. I honestly don't think we're going to be doing that with the straight. Now with the flush draw, maybe, yeah, we'll leave that in. All right, so we bet, he calls, and I think that's what he's calling with. We've already done that. So river's the 10 of diamonds. It's actually a very bad card for us because I do think villain's going to have the ace. He checks. You know, what is he going to check? I think he is checking everything that he has. So he's going to be two pair plus, two pair sets or straights is what he's looking at. I don't think we're going to get him to fold anything. Even if we have the flush, I think he's going to call at this point, 66%. So when we say, well, what's he going to fold? I think he's going to struggle with two pair, but I think he's still going to call them. I really don't think he's folding. I think if he called my 75% pot on the turn, he's going to call the river. So there's really no benefit for me to bluff. So I think here we bet the flush and that's about it. Maybe the straight, but I think sets and two pair, we're just going to be checking. So let's hope I did check behind, and he shows king queen. So is that a hand that he has? Oh yeah, definitely. That's part of the two pair. That's kind of what I expected. Do I think he's folding to any of my bets? Probably not. So overall, I think we had the opportunity to 3-bet pre-flop. I think it could go either way. But I think the mistake in this hand was betting as large as I did. We're not getting that fold equity. So the turn bet could have been half pot, maybe even a quarter pot. He calls, and it saves us a little bit of money on the end. All right, hopefully you enjoy this. If you do, look tomorrow for another one.